Gentleman from California, Mr. Sherman is now recognized for 5 minutes.
It seems odd that those who oppose this improvement in our regulations are enlisting xenophobia, when in fact what you folks are doing goes far beyond the European standards, as the gentleman from Arkansas pointed out. I don't know whether the standards you're adopting are too high, but I do know that if they are, we shouldn't be blaming the Europeans because their standards are not too high. We're told that we should ignore climate, but I don't see anybody on this committee investing in the sovereign debt of the Maldives. It is predicted that the Maldives will be an entirely submerged nation by the end of this century. I would think, I won't even ask the question of our bank regulators here, that if all of the bank's assets were invested in the Maldives, that you would notice that subterranean countries usually cannot, aquatic countries usually can't pay their debt. What concerns me here is that we're going to make some mistakes in how we adopt these regulations, and I don't think we should blame the Europeans for that. The first of these is, it's my understanding that these proposed regulations give no weight to private mortgage insurance. Is that true, and are you going to fix it? I'll ask our first witness.
So we have gotten comments on the issue of mortgages generally and private mortgage insurance in particularly. The proposal doesn't change the treatment of private mortgage insurance. It's recognized in a particular way in the current capital rules, and that is not proposed to change in the proposed rules. But we've gotten a lot of comments.
You're not changing risk weights on loan-to-value ratios that ignore the effect of private mortgage insurance?
The proposal would change the risk weights to make them more risk sensitive.
And in changing those risk weights, you would have the same rate for mortgages of the same loan-to-value ratio, whether there was mortgage insurance or there wasn't mortgage insurance. Is that correct?
Not necessarily.
Well, that's what everybody in the industry is saying. Do any of our witnesses want to assure me that private mortgage insurance is going to be reflected in the risk that the bank has taken?
Certainly can't make that assurance, but like Mike said, I think that's an area where we got a lot of comment from the industry for sure.
Okay. Now, under the proposed rules, you're appropriately treating tax credits owned by banks for low-income housing, but you're treating much worse tax credits for clean energy. Is that something that I can count on you to clean up? I'll ask the witness at the far end.
Congressman Sherman, I think we've gotten a lot of comments about that, and we are thoroughly reviewing those comments, and the process is moving forward, and we will address those in any final product that we issue.
Okay. Now let me deal with, in a capitalist society, the allocation of capital is critical, and it's often a fight between Wall Street and my local pizzeria, my local Main Street business. And throughout this process, you have tilted things toward Wall Street and against Main Street. First, you have a rule of only 65% weighting for a company that happens to be publicly traded, whereas a company of equivalent risk, 100%. Second, you do not count, you do not mark to market long-term bonds held if the bank just says that they're going to hold them to maturity. We finally, on that 65% rule, not only do you hit small and medium-sized businesses, but also mutual funds and pension plans. Can I be assured that when these rules actually come out, that small businesses, mutual funds, and pension plans will not be discriminated against as compared to publicly traded corporations? I'll ask her.
Again, I can't provide you the assurance you're asking for, but the issue you raised about the corporate risk weight is a really important one.
I want to get in one more thing. You guys are obviously getting a lot of input, including in this room. Can I be assured that you're getting more input from Americans than Europeans in writing these rules? I'll ask each witness. More from Europeans or more from Americans in terms of total input?
More of the comments are from Americans.
And more of the committee hearings
Likewise.
and meetings. Is that correct? And I'll ask our third regulator.
Yes.
Okay, so if you guys screw it up, don't blame the Europeans. And if you oppose these rules, don't enlist
Thompson.
xenophobia, and I yield back.